Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome to Elle's Temple. My name is Elle, and I am a goddess guide and holistic healer. And today I am going to be doing a very special reading from Goddess Hekate. Goddess Hekate or Hekate is a goddess of the crossroads. So this is all about if you are at a crossroads, aligning with the best path for you, or aligning with the path that is the most you. Goddess Hekate is sometimes known as in this deck, the Dark One. And her message here is gather wisdom from deep sources. So she is often seen as a sort of a dark goddess, but I believe that is because of her association with being the goddess, like the queen of witches or the goddess of witches, and witchcraft. But I believe that the sort of very dark, or like, sometimes she's known as like this evil witch and so on and so forth, which is just patriarchal nonsense. So ignore all that. If that's kind of stuff you've heard about her, that's absolutely rubbish. Goddess Hekate is a beautiful goddess who is actually, even though she's often known as this dark one, she is the like torchbearer, the way shower. She's the one who, when you're in moments of doubt, confusion, if you're going through a big transition in your life, if you're going through any kind of issues with being at some kind of crossroads and having difficulties transitioning to like the next best path for yourself, aligning with the highest path for yourself, Goddess Hekate is just the most wonderful guide for that time, for kind of going through any kind of underworld and guiding you through that process of like figuring out who you really are, doing the shadow work, doing the healing work, letting go of anything that is not fully you, and stepping into like the most aligned and authentic version of yourself that you were meant to be. So she's just a wonderful guide to call on when you are faced with a decision, and this can be anything from, you feel like you've kind of outgrown something like a job or a group of friends or things like that, and or even certain hobbies and things are just not really things that used to vibe with you or used to be things you used to love. Suddenly you're just not really vibing with them anymore. They're just, you're just like, oh, I feel like a certain part of me is kind of dying away. Like there's like, that's like the old me. I'm being guided to say she often will come in, through big transitional moments in life, like, typically things like the maiden, mother, crone transition. So like transitioning into motherhood from maidenhood, transitioning into cronehood, like going through menopause from from previously being a mother, going through empty nester syndrome if you were previously a mother, or also, or if you're a maiden starting on your period, starting on your menstruation, any of those big transitional times, particularly for women, but also things like, your Saturn return, which occurs, that's an astrological event that occurs around like from age 28 to 30-ish. And that can cause a big transition in your life and could cause you to start questioning everything. So Goddess Hekate is a wonderful, wonderful guide to call on. To kind of gather a sort of sense of like innate selfhood and soul, like connect with your inner soul so that you can like really sort of almost rebirth or birth like your most authentic self. She just is marvelous for almost like midwifing that birth. She's a guide and a midwife. But really, if you're going through some kind of transition, if you're at a crossroads, you're trying to make a decision about something, you can call on her. She's the one who like can guide you through that tunnel of indecision. She can guide you. She's like the light shower, the path finder, so if you feel like you're in a bit of a tunnel and you're just like, oh my gosh, I just feel so in the dark these days, like nothing, I just don't, like, I'm stabbing around in the dark. I don't really know what I'm doing. Like one day it feels clear and the next it doesn't. You can really call on Goddess Hekate to like feel really clear about your path and just provide that little bit of light to like show you what is the next step, and then the next step and the next step. So anyway, without further ado, that was the introduction to Goddess Hekate. I've been working with her now quite closely for about 9 months, and it's very exciting for me to be able to bring you a channeled message through, a pick a card channeled message through from Goddess Hekate herself. So first of all, just to introduce the piles, we have 3 piles here. Now these gorgeous cards, I hope you you like these cards. I was very drawn to these ones because they have a key on them, and one of the they have, oh well, I think more than one, multiple keys on the artwork, and crystals and flowers, and Goddess Hekate is also known as Keeper of the Keys, and she's also a goddess of like witchcraft and healing, and like kind of magical, you know, sort of using plants and plant medicine and things like that to heal. So these cards are from the Illustrated Herbiary book by Maya Toll, and deck that comes with it. Absolutely gorgeous. So we have three cards. There's going to be three piles. I'm going to be picking from. I'm going to be pulling some tarot cards from the Everyday Witch Tarot. I'm also going to be pulling some tarot cards from the Kim Kranz Wild Unknown Tarot. I also have some other oracle cards from the Kim Kranz Animal Oracle deck too. So these are your kind of overarching guidance messages, though, from Goddess Hekate, or Hekate. It's pronounced in different ways depending on where you're from. So pile one, if you are drawn to this card here, and this little cute bottle of earth treasures, which is a little bottle of crystals, which I just love because it's just so cute and really witchy, and I just love it. So this little earth treasures bottle. Pile two, this will be your card, and if you're drawn to this Balance Essential Oils, Balance Apothecary Aromatherapy Essential Oil, this is your pile. And if you're drawn to this one here, this card here, and this cute little mini pine cone, this is going to be your pile three. So take a really short moment just to breathe in and breathe out, and connect with your feet, and feel like a grounding cord coming out of your feet, sinking all the way down into Mother Earth, all the way down into the depths and the core of the earth, and that will just help ground your energy. Really connecting with Gaia. Really feel your energy just connecting into the very, very, very center of the earth, and the depths and the darkness of the earth. And just take a little moment to close your eyes and just feel really grounded and really connected and really held and really supported by Mother Earth. Take a few deep breaths there, and then when you're feeling that connection, open your eyes and see which pile you are intuitively, instantly drawn to, whichever one your eyes go to. Just trust that. That's your intuition telling you which pile is for you. So the timestamps will be below. I will see you in your reading. Bye-bye. Hi there, pile one. So if you chose pile one and this very cute little bottle of earth treasures or wee crystals, then this is going to be your reading. So for you, you got the Trillium card, Spirit into Matter. So I'm going to start the reading by just reading directly from this gorgeous Illustrated Herbiary book. And then I'm going to go on and pick some tarot cards, because I feel like the messages that are coming through from the book are just so, sort of encapsulate the energy of what I feel like the whole reading is going to be. Not that I have done your reading yet, because I'm going to be pulling cards live. So, but it's just the guidance from this book is very helpful. So Trillium. Trillium is a rare jewel brightening the forest floor, quietly watching the darkness. She's not waiting for gals or ghosts. She fears nothing in these dim-lit woods. No, Trillium is waiting on the first fleeting sparks of new life. Come, she says, drawing you deeper into the consciousness of the trees. Let's see what shall be born. While she's been awaiting births for millennia, Trillium's recently developed her invisibility. Quietly blending into leaf mulch and fern patches, the dark places where ideas are incubated. On the edge of the abyss of all and nothing, she's ready to ease the transition from spirit to matter. Trillium helps with births. She often sees the first spark when others still see darkness. And I'm going to read the ritual as well, because with each of these cards, the authors also included a ritual. So Nurture new ideas. Daydreams are like seeds. We have so many, but few take root. How do you breathe life into an idea and create a new way of being in the world? From inception, the new seed needs to be nurtured or it will dry up and wither. So when you're contemplating a fresh idea, give it some love. Envisage it fully formed and living in the world. Then create a space for it to grow. A blank canvas, a folder on your desktop, or a cleared side table with an image representing this glorious thing that is to come. So I feel like for some of you, you might be in this idea incubation stage at the moment. And the guidance is very much like whatever that idea is, if you've had that seed of an idea come through, you really need to trust it and allow it some like almost like womb time to kind of birth it. And it's very appropriate that Hekate is here because she's very much a goddess of like midwifing and kind of almost like facilitating or holding space or midwifing that kind of womb time so that you can like either rebirth yourself or give birth to an idea. She was sometimes known as the goddess of mothers, of being like a midwife or that connection with that kind of the triple goddess, and made a mother crone, but using that wisdom through all the cycles of a woman's life, but in particular birth and giving birth. So that can be that could be literal. Perhaps you are this might be a sign that you might be giving birth to an actual human baby. If so, congratulations. And you're wanting to become a mother, because spirit into matter can certainly speak of that like seed kind of coming through and giving birth to it. But my feeling is that for more of you, it's related to giving birth to an idea, and really spirit into matter talks about like bringing down that and germinating that seed of an idea and giving it ample like growth time in the womb before kind of birthing it out. And Hekate, being the goddess of transitions and so forth, and birthing can help you through that process of like keeping the idea like almost, I'm seeing here with this flower, like this plant with the roots coming down into the earth, and then these jewels under the earth. It's like, and then see these tiny wee roots that connect with like right down into the depths of Mother Earth. It's like that's where you're at the moment, and you need to kind of like really ground that idea right into the depths of the ground. And it's also really appropriate actually that there's I'm just seeing all these autumn leaves around here, so perhaps wherever you are listening to this at the moment, it could be autumn. It doesn't have to be, this is a timeless reading, and just take it as it resonates. It might not be autumn for you, but it is. We're going into Scorpio season in the northern hem. Well, we're going into Scorpio season everywhere, but we're going into. We've just had the autumn equinox not too long ago here in the northern hemisphere, so that means obviously the days are shorter, the length of time of light and dark. It's a time where there's less light, there's more darkness. And so energetically speaking, or in terms of seasonally, it's a very appropriate time for you. You're kind of in sync with that, because that's kind of what's happening with you, where there is going to feel a bit like you're going through this period of darkness. There's a little bit less light for you, pile one. And there's a reason for that. Goddess Hekate is with you, so you can absolutely call on her. She is there she's there with you going through this transition, through this birthing of this new idea and bringing it to light. And like the more you can kind of tune into your womb and kind of not be afraid of these treasures that kind of lie under the earth, like the most beautiful, like if you think of crystals, and it's interesting here we've got these crystals, or they're gemstones really that are under the earth. And that's how a lot of gemstones are born, from quite extreme pressure and sort of darkness and things like that from under the earth or through volcanic processes and things. And so it's almost like you're going to be rebirthed as that, or your idea is going to come out as this absolute gorgeous, like, a beautiful gemstone. Whatever this thing is that you're birthing, it does require a period of darkness, in the same way that, for a baby to be born, if you think about like, To put it a little bit crudely, the conception stage is the fun bit, right? But then, there's the growth bit. There's the bit where it's in the womb, and it's just in this cavern, this dark space, and the baby just has to grow, and that's going to cause some pains for the mother, right? And sometimes like morning sickness, and certainly feelings of perhaps giving up one's personal freedom and one's body sovereignty over one's body, and all these sorts of feelings, because one is sort of suddenly a vehicle, like a holding space for birthing this new matter into the earth. And so there's there is going to be this like gestation period. That's the word I'm looking for. There is going to be a gestation period for you for this idea. But if recently you have, like, if you're at a crossroads right now and you're like, one way is to sort of carry on with what you've been doing, some form of career path maybe, or creative project that you've been pursuing for quite some time, but you're starting to energetically find that it's like, I'm just seeing this, I'm being shown this image of like a car running out of fuel. And it's like if you're now being drawn into something like this other idea that you've just suddenly felt like, you've had this seed of an idea kind of germinate within you, and you can't stop thinking about it, then trust that, because it is saying, this guidance is saying, like, you're meant to give birth to that. You're meant to kind of see that process through. You're meant to allow that seed of an idea, or ideas, maybe plural, maybe you've got lots of ideas for creative projects or something, or a business or whatever. You really need to kind of water them and let them grow, and like provide that like womb space for that idea, because you are here to bring like spirituality onto the earth plane, or bring some kind of some kind of like higher wisdom. You're meant to bring that forth and actually make it manifest on earth. So that's really quite an important message. So I'm going to leave that up there for now, and then we're just going to pull some cards from the Everyday Witch Tarot. So let's have a look. Everyday Witch, can I have some messages for my pile ones? Everyday Witch, can I have some messages for my pile ones about this new period? Oh wow, yeah. Look at this, Eight of Pentacles. Yeah. This is completely backing this up, because Eight of Pentacles is like, just, she's sort of, she's not out there in the world yet. She's in her kitchen, and, or in her little shop or something. And, she's working away, she's beavering away, she's perfecting her craft. Eight of Pentacles is a lot to do with like, just working on something, growing it, developing it, honing it, mastering it, becoming like turning it into, I'm just getting this connection. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of messages through, so I'm trying to discern all the energy I'm getting. Turning these ideas into actual like physical things. You can see it's like a magical process. Like she's here with all these like concoctions, and she's making something out of it. So it's like you're gonna channel some wisdom through, and you're gonna physically manifest it into something material. You're going to make something out of this. Now, this could look like quite literally what this woman is doing. You might well be, say, something like some kind of holistic healer, with this sort of witch symbology and the cauldron and these potions. Like maybe you make your own healing remedies. Maybe you're a kitchen witch and you make medicinal food or something. Maybe you make some sort of brews, or some sort of something that's healing, like turning something into something that's healing. It doesn't have to be, though. Even though Goddess Hekate is often one who she will kind of come to you, perhaps if you are a new witch, or you're thinking of sort of tapping into your witch powers, if you like, and witch being, you know, like obviously that word has been, as I'm sure many of you know, it's been like misappropriated and turned into this like fearful thing, when in actual fact a witch just meant like community healing woman originally, and the person who, you know, provided the remedies, the holistic remedies, the healing remedies, the natural herbal remedies. So yeah, it could be with this sign on the door. There's some herbs here and a broomstick, so it could be some kind of herb. You know, if you're thinking of, I'm just been guided to say, if you're thinking of doing a herbal course or a herbalism course, this could be your, you know, the sign from Goddess Hekate to like go for it, like turn those, whatever idea you've had for something, you know, turn it into matter, like let it, like do your learning, do your study. And you know, that doesn't have to mean like go off to university necessarily, or anything especially formal. This could just be you honing your craft yourself at home. Like if it is making herbal remedies and you're learning how to do that, you know, from certain books and things or what have you, then, you know, by all means, like carry on learning, carry on honing, carry on perfecting your craft, and eventually that idea can blossom, and you can turn it into something, you know, whether it's a business or just a really fantastic hobby that just brings you so much joy. And but I do feel like with pentacles here, pentacles is often to do with, you know, the earth element. So it's to do with like actually manifesting things on the physical plane, in terms of usually things like money, security, stability, finances, you know, a home, you know, that type of thing. And take that however it resonates. For some of you, you might be like, oh, I'm not that bothered about money as long as I can pay my bills, you know, in which case great. Or if you're more like, actually, yes, I want to be really prosperous, and I want to, you know, to earn plenty of money and to support myself in the future. Eight of Pentacles has that really like, well, it's the step before the Nine of Pentacles, which is that sort of almost like a really super strong, independent, single woman. Like, I don't need nobody, I'm self-sufficient on my own kind of thing, but in a really good way. And it's like you're getting there. Like the Eight of Pentacles is like you will get to the Nine of Pentacles if you keep working and keep honing and keep developing your craft. And you know, whatever this idea is, if you just keep adding to it, keep, you know, practicing it, you know. And it might not be anything related to any kind of witchy thing or healing thing, but whatever it is, whatever the idea is, you know, for some of you might be creatives and you might have had a lot of ideas. You know, this is the card for muses as well. Often, like if you get a lot of creative ideas that come down, and you you know, you struggle to like necessarily even maybe trust the idea or do anything with it. Maybe you might sort of talk to people about it too quickly, and you're like, hey, I had this idea for a book, or I had this idea for a I don't know, a short film or something like that. And then sometimes maybe people like I'm just kind of seeing someone like rains on your parade, or they kind of blow the idea out before you've had a chance to like really grow it. And I'm being guided to say it's like that kind of thing of maybe just stay quiet about your work for now, or this idea, because it's like that whole analogy of you know, a pregnant woman doesn't usually announce that she's pregnant until, I think it's like 3 months. It might be a bit earlier nowadays, but I think traditionally speaking, they say like 3 months, in case there's any problem with the I guess the fertilized egg like really growing and actually turning into, you know, like becoming a baby. A lot can go wrong in those first few months, and it needs a really you know, there's just so many elements that go into creating like that perfect environment to really grow something to full term. And I feel like you're in that now, and it's like you've come out of maybe a road that's been more like, you know, where you're going and it's quite linear, and you're now in this conception point of like you know, like suddenly having this idea in this womb space and being like, oh, should I go ahead with this? Like, should I continue to gestate it and create the right environment for it? And the answer is absolutely yes. Whatever that idea was, whatever that thing is you're passionate about and want to learn, whatever that book idea or creative business idea or healing business idea is, absolutely give it its credence, its time, it's what, like, give it work, give it breathing space to grow. So that's a really gorgeous message. I'll see if there's any other messages from the Everyday Witch Tarot. Oops. Okay, Goddess Hekate, are there any other messages for pile 1 from the Everyday Witch? Any other messages on the most authentic path? The path that is the most you. What is the path that is the most you? Whoa! Oh, wow, yeah. I mean, gosh. It's kind of saying the same thing. It was a bit pointless even pulling that, really, because it's kind of like saying you've left comfort behind. I feel like here you've left your town, your home, and that's, you know, maybe literally you might have moved, but you know, it's more metaphorically or metaphysically speaking, you've kind of left behind your town, and you're here at this new point, and you've got this map in front of you, and this kind of happy-go-lucky attitude. And page is kind of about, like, you know, like I said, it's like it's a slightly, you're not quite at mastery point yet, but you've started the journey. You know, you've started the journey. You're still at the beginning stages of the journey. There's still a bit of work to be done. There's still a bit of building and honing and practicing. But you've started it. You've got a bit of a map here, and this is again guidance from Hekate. I mean, look at this crossroads. Like, you've got one part of the sign, the road sign, pointing that way, and one pointing that way. And he's like, "Well, I've come this far. Should I keep going straight, or should I go left?" And he's like tossing a coin, being like, "Which way should I go?" And I feel like this is kind of saying, what I'm being guided to say is, like, there is really no wrong path for you, because whichever way you go, you'll learn things that will help you with it along this Eight of Pentacles journey. And also, like, Page of Pentacles is like, it is perhaps the slowest moving of the pages, and that Pentacles energy, Earth energy, is a very slow, like if you think of, say, you know, the Earth signs, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, you know, they're very methodical. You know, I'm just seeing with, like, say, a Capricorn, for example, you know, Capricorns are very, you know, it's the sign of, like, the mountain goat. So it's like step by step up the mountain, like up we go. We're just going to keep on working and keep on going methodically. So, you know, this page here is just going to keep on stepping towards whatever his goal is. He's just figuring out his time, and that's kind of the energy you're in now. But Goddess Hekate is kind of saying, like, you're going to prosper, you know, with these two Pentacles cards. It's like, you don't really need to worry about money. You're going to prosper either way. There is going to be security and stability and you know, every material abundance for you eventually anyway, whichever path you choose. So maybe for some of you, you might be worried about materialism or material things. Maybe you've been on a more traditional path before, and you are sort of thinking, I've got to stay with that. Like, I can't go down this path of, like, you know, being affected by you know, this muse in my life where I'm getting all these ideas to put into practice. It's like you're not really seeing how that's going to translate into, like, material wealth or physical wealth for you. You don't maybe feel like you'll have that stability, but with the Eight of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles, you definitely will. Okay, so I don't feel like there's any more. This is quite a different reading. I've never done one where it's so few tarot, so I'm being guided just to pull a Animal Oracle card on the Kim Kranz Animal Oracle deck. Animal Oracle card from Goddess Hekate, please. There we go. Thank you. Wow, beautiful. This is so interesting. I'm just straight away drawn to the colors of, there's a lot of green and also yellow, but this guy here, the page, is wearing like green and yellow stripy leggings, yellow hair, and a green cloak. This moth is green and yellow. And this woman's wearing a green top with yellow bands on her. Now, green is related to the heart chakra. And yellow is related to the solar plexus, which is all about shining your light. So my feeling is like you're going through this process of being like, I'm hearing like a moth to a flame, and that like you your whatever it is that you do, or whatever it is that you choose to do and go towards, it's got to make your heart happy. You need to go like fly towards the moth to a flame thing, is like fly towards the thing that is going to make your heart the most happy, and you can't go wrong. If you are at a crossroads and you're trying to figure out, should I go this way, that's perhaps the more, maybe going back home to where, like, or where my tribe thinks I should go, or what I should do, towards the more practical way, or logical or linear way, or stable way, or whatever it is, versus like this sort of verdant, abundant, like the green, like something that's going to be very fulfilling for my heart. With the moth here, that's really saying, like, go towards what will make your heart happy. That, like, shine your light by doing something that really, like, is heart-centered and just brings you so much happiness and joy, and is where you're like able to, it's like almost like with moth to a flame. Okay, so the message I'm getting is like you are going to be I think either whether you're like creating these healing potions, or maybe you're just whatever it is that you're creating, whatever it is that you're cooking up, your people are going to come to you. You're like the flame, and people are going to come to you like moths to a flame. So keep going with whatever this idea is. Like, don't be afraid to go towards it, because you're going to be like this shining light and this example for others, and they're just going to be so, you're going to be so magnetic and attractive, and just people are just going to like I'm just seeing you like this kind of like a lamp, and then just moss all over it. Like you're just going to light up a room once you're really doing what it is you're passionate about with all your heart. Like, don't go down a path if it's not somewhere that you're going with all your heart. There just is no point. If you're just going with your your logic, or like making a decision based on fear, then I mean, I'm not saying, like, by all means, like, look after yourself and take care of yourself and be responsible and do what you need to do to put food on the table. But like, aside from that, like, if there's a way to somehow like work on this thing that makes you happy and is heartwarming, and like I'm just seeing like heart, just like it's not a word, but I'm hearing like heart full. Like, I guess your heart is just full of joy. Then do that. Like, go towards that. That is just, yeah, so beautiful. Okay, I'm being guided to leave it there, my beautiful pile ones. I hope that was helpful for you, and gave you a little bit of insight into the path that is the most you. I'm sure that you will continue to have some further like intuitions that will come up around this. Like, be, when you start connecting with Goddess Hekate, be prepared for some powerful change, is all I will say, because she really helps you connect with that like depth of yourself, that like authentic core of who you really are, and bring that out. Like the more you connect with her, the more you'll be able to bring like your true self into matter, like into the physical form. But there will be a little bit of I sense there will, like, you can see this moth is like coming out of darkness, like, and flying towards the light. So it's like there will be a little bit of a period of gestation for sure. But don't be afraid of that. Like, allow these ideas to really, and allow yourself to really go through that birthing process, that being in the womb space, and just doing whatever it is that you need to do, particularly if it is over autumn. It's a good time to do that, over autumn, winter, to cocoon and hibernate, and just gestate, and allow that kind of allow the darkness to be there around the outside. I see you just growing like this. You're in this little bubble here with all this, all the autumn and everything is around the outside of you going on, but you're just like rooting into the ground. Yeah, I'm just being guided to say that there are some with these roots are holding on to crystals here and gemstones. So there may be some crystals that might be helpful for you to help like earth your ideas and like ground your ideas. I think I'm hearing like obsidian. Obsidian is a very grounding stone. I'm not sure if I have. Oh wait, I might actually have some here. Here we go. I think this might be some obsidian. It's a black stone and it's very grounding. So that might be quite a useful stone to kind of to help like ground your ideas and ground yourself into the earth whilst you go through this process. Okay, my beautiful souls, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining and subscribing. Please leave me a comment below if this resonated. I would really love to hear from you. Please hit the notification bell if you'd like to be notified of future readings. I do regular weekly readings with messages from the goddesses, as well as readings about all sorts of other topics like love and relationships and career and so forth. So I would really, really love for you to join me, and I will see you in the next reading. Oh, my love. Bye-bye. Hi there, pal 2. If you chose this little balance bottle of essential oil, and pal 2, this is your reading. So the card that you got from the Illustrated Herbery is the Passion Flower, and the message is exuberant quietude. So this is the sort of overarching energy in terms of the I guess the path that is the most aligned with you, or the kind of like soul evolution to step into next. If you're at a bit of a crossroads right now or going through a transition now, this is the energy that if you can tap into this will really assist you with going through this transition. So I'm going to read the message directly from the book to begin with, and then we'll move on to some tarot and other oracle cards. So Passion Flower is a study in opposites. She climbs vigorously, some say invasively, sending exploring fingers through fence slats and wall crevices. What's over there, she wonders, always trying to get to the other side, to expand beyond her current boundaries. Even her flower exudes frenetic energy, vibrantly bursting out into the world. Every inch of Passion Flower is reaching, striving, and climbing, and yet her medicine is the magical calm that happens when the television, computer, and phone are all suddenly silent. She begs you to pause in your questing and take the time for a new experience, inner quietude. Why? Because being able to be quiet and still is Passion Flower's secret to exuberant expansion without stress or burnout. And I'm just going to read the ritual as well for you. So expand yourself, instructs Passion Flower. She reaches around a flower pot on her way to the far corner of the garden. Are you ready to get a body sense of what it feels like to be calm and contained, yet exuberantly expansive? So she's got this suggestion here of like standing in a doorway with your palms turned inward toward your body. Press the backs of your hands against the door frame and push outward with your arms as hard as you can. Your muscles might shake a little while counting slowly to 40, then step out of the doorway. Just go do it, Passion Flower says. She's not giving away the ending and ruining your chance to explore for yourself. Yeah, I love that. So my feeling is and the guidance from Goddess Hekate is like, there's kind of two things here. Perhaps some of you might have gone through a little bit of possibly like I'm seeing almost like workaholism energy, and you might have previously, when you've gone towards something, whether it's a project or a career or a job or something like that, you might have ended up like burning yourself out a little bit or overdoing it and like just ending up quite energetically burnt out. And so with this, like the message of balance and and that kind of with the exuberant quietude, like withdraw. It's almost like being calm and quiet and withdrawing in order to have like aligned action, so that you're not just doing. It's almost like there's I'm seeing the need to kind of balance your like yin and yang energy. And interestingly, there's quite phallic and feminine symbology on this card, like the phallic of the, I think these are like crystals or something behind the flower, and the roots and the shoots of the plant, and then the feminine symbology with the flower just like bursting open, which is very like yeah, female, feminine. Yeah, I guess like the feminine sexual organ. So it's kind of telling me that there's a need to balance your masculine and your feminine energies, and your yin and your yang energies. And it's almost like previously perhaps your yin energy has been a bit suppressed, and you've been like yang and gotten yourself burnt out by being very like action oriented, which, not knocking that at all, that's a fantastic quality and really good. Like that exuberance is amazing and really important and like really natural to you. But like if it happens at the expense of your yin, of your like need to rest and replenish and go inward and you know, like receive your inner wisdom and connect with your inner self. If you're sort of doing action for action's sake, then you can end up a little bit like quite easily burnt out. So it's almost like you need to flip the switch and like reverse the energy around, and like go within first, like do the yin stuff first, and then do the yang stuff, the projection, the action taking, the putting things out in the world, after you've done the rest and the replenishment and the like connecting with your inner self, connecting with your soul self, you know, really tuning in and being really quiet, and like it said, like turning off, you know, who are you when you're not connected to other people, the television, social media, blah 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 blah. Like, you know, you can restore yourself through just getting really still and really quiet. You can restore your energy through like rest and just really energetically like just becoming really serene, and connecting with that quiet inner part of yourself. And then from there, once you get that guidance from your soul, I mean, you know, the message from Hekate even in this card is all about gathering wisdom from deep sources. So that's what she's really saying you need to do, like get that wisdom first. You know, get that wisdom first, and then you know, travel out from there. Then do the outward work, the action taking, once you've gathered that wisdom and you've gotten quiet and you've done, you know, what you need to do to connect with your true self, and you'll then know what the path is that is most for you, and be able. And once you do, I feel like with my pile twos, you guys are just so passionate and exuberant and have such incredible like fiery growth energy, like yeah, I'm just hearing whatever it is that you end up doing, it's just going to spread like wildfire. Like that's how, like it's passion flower, like you are the passion flower, you have the energy of the passion flower to tap into, like you are a passionate flower, pal too, which is amazing. And also the flower is purple here, purple and pink, so it's, well, yeah, kind of light pink, like lilac, but and there's a lot of green around it, but there's a heart chakra, and the purple is like the crown chakra, which is spirituality and like sovereignty and like having yeah, I guess I'm being guided to say with that sovereignty aspect, this could well be like stepping into having sovereignty over like your work. So this might be stepping away from, if you've gotten burnt out in the past and you have been overdoing that kind of yang energy and that, like, you know, that whole thing. Maybe you've been in quite a masculine environment like maybe some kind of corporate job or career or something like that, where it's like I'm seeing someone like climbing the corporate ladder. And then I feel like for some of you, maybe you've been made redundant or you've lost that work during lockdown or something like that, or you're suddenly just not feeling it anymore, which is why you're at a bit of a crossroads, because previously you were doing it and you were like, yep, climb, that's what I want to do, I want to get to the top, and like I want to have this whole career doing this thing that maybe it's something you trained in, and then you got a bit burnt out, or like during COVID you had a chance to like actually rest because maybe you didn't have to go to the office or do so much business travel or something, and suddenly you could get quiet and you could access like time out and time off and rest and reflection, and you're like, I really like that. I want to do more of that, please. Like, I want a lifestyle that builds that into it. And with balance here, Hekate's message with balance and exuberant quietude is like, yes, there's a reason that happened to you. There's like, that's not a coincidence. There's a reason that you were pulled away from whatever it was you had been doing previously, and you're now feeling the need to really rest and go within and like reflect and have that solitude maybe, or that quietude, or that reflection time, because it's giving you that wisdom. It's connecting you with like your higher self, your most authentic, like your spiritual self, your inner sovereignty, because perhaps there's you're meant to kind of grow, I'm hearing, like on your own. So it might well be that you're gonna, and I'm sensing some of you might be a little bit resistant to this, because you might be quite maybe attached to your previous path. For some of you, not all of you, I think some of you are really ready to move on, and you're really at this crossroads, like genuinely weighing up, both options. But for some of you, you might be more attached to like, oh no, I've got to stay with like what I know, and I've got to carry on doing that, even though I'm burnt out. Like maybe I just need a holiday or something. But like actually, there's this message of like finding some kind of sovereignty. Now that doesn't, please understand, I'm not kind of saying like, oh, just like jump ship and like just leave your job and like whatever, like you'll just you'll be fine. Like, no, take, be responsible, be accountable, like, do what you need to do to survive and put money on the table, put money on the table. Put money on the table, put food on the table, and all of that, and be secure and everything. But aside from that, I think most of you are good with that anyway. And the point is that if you've got an idea to do something where you get a bit more sovereignty over your time, or even if you can just, it might not even be as drastic as necessarily saying, oh, I've got to completely jump ship from working for any kind of say whatever it was you're trained in, some kind of corporate job or something, and like go off in this completely opposite direction of kind of doing something that is sort of much more like yin, and putting that wisdom kind of out there in some way. Like you might not be there yet, and that's fine. And in which case it's just like, how do you get the balance? How do you find that like sweet spot between like, maybe you still do a little bit of that, like maybe you still, I don't know, maybe just work 4 days a week perhaps, or 3 days a week, or like finish at 4 o'clock, or or take work, I don't know, some people work, for example, like when I worked in corporate myself for many years, like all through my 20s into my early 30s, and then I hit my Saturn return. I actually hit my Saturn return quite late, like I was like 31, 32 when it really hit for me, and I then changed directions and moved away from corporate and media, and increasingly moved into the holistic arts and trained in all manner of holistic healing modalities and so forth, and divine feminine work and energy healing and everything, and then tarot and psychic development, and only now, like years on, am I doing, like I have created my own business, Elle's Temple, and I'm an entrepreneur, or I mean, I don't really even like thinking of it as that word entrepreneur, but like, I work for myself. I have finally got to that point of working for myself, but it was a long journey, and, I had to do it in stages, and sometimes I was still partly working for some, still a little bit, I was still doing a little bit of marketing work here and there for some companies for many years. And so, it might just be a case of finding that sweet spot and finding that balance. It's like, perhaps if you have gone through something with lockdowns and stuff, and you're like, oh, actually, whew, like, I'm just sensing some of you, like your energy systems finally getting a chance to rest and being able to connect with like your body wisdom and energetically grounding and feeling a lot calmer by not having to like have that frenetic, like it did talk about the passion flower being quite frenetic flower. So maybe for some of you, you have been quite energetically frenetic and that can burn you out a little bit. And so it is just kind of saying like, how can you just ground and like connect with the earth and like take that time to like connect with your yin self, your inner feminine self, that like restful contemplative self, and you'll get that guidance from within, you'll get that wisdom from within on your next step to take. Like Goddess Hekate is always there with you, giving you like that next little breadcrumb along the journey. Like she's the light, she's the light shower, the way shower, the torch bearer, the guide, so she'll, if you tune into that and you allow that time out of the day when you like turn the television off, turn the social media off, turn the chatting to friends off, I sense for some of you, you're quite extroverted souls. So you're constantly like, oh, but I need to do this and I need to go to work and I need to connect with this person. And like, whew, just like take a breather, take some time out, connect with yourself. And then you'll know like, what is your next best step? Like, what do you need to do next, either for your own healing, or for this stepping into your sovereignty in some way. So, like I say, that this might not be necessarily for all of you saying, because this is a general reading. So I'm picking up a lot of energy. So some things will resonate, take what resonates, leave the rest. So for some of you, it will be stepping onto slowly and gradually stepping into a process of perhaps becoming more sovereign around your work and becoming some sort of, like so independent, maybe a freelancer or working for yourself, having that time and energy sovereignty so you can choose when and how you work. And for others of you, it will just be having a little bit more sovereignty over your energy and your day. So maybe you just take longer lunch breaks or something, or you just, one of the things I did before I left corporate was before I used to have lunch. I worked in media and it was really frenetic, like this passion flower. And I used to have lunch at my desk, and I got really burnt out because I wasn't eating properly. I was working late hours. I was often needing to take work home, which, in this day and age, I can appreciate many people have to do to kind of, stay in that competitive environment and so forth. But like, the little tiny wee shifts that I did before I eventually left corporate, and I was still in quite a fairly high level position at that point. I was actually just being like, no, I need lunch. I need to connect with nature. I need to connect with the sun or the earth during my lunch break. I'm going to take my full hour. I'm technically allowed an hour lunch break. I'm going to take that full lunch break. I'm not going to sit on my desk. I am going to go for a walk and, get outside and just connect with nature and calm and like my inner self and my, like my inner, like, quietude. Exactly that, like the quietude. So find balance where you can. Okay, that's the message from that card. I'm going to pull some tarot cards for you guys. So this is the Everyday Witch deck. Okay, Goddess Hekate, can we have some messages from my pile twos? Whoa. Knight of Wands. Gorgeous energy. Yeah, I could feel you guys are such powerhouses. My goodness, you're so wandsy energy, like fire energy. You're so passionate and you've got so much like creative power and like firepower. Like wands is all about, creativity and sexuality and passion and that spark for life and that zest for life. And if you think of like the spark of a new idea, like, and then like fanning the flame to like grow it into something, like this dragon is just like, a fire breathing dragon. Knight of Wands is, again, it's a very phallic energy with this knight. Knight it's not gender specific or sex specific in the sense that it's not man, woman, masculine, feminine. Knight can be either. It is a masculine energy, but it can be either man or woman can embody Knight of Wands energy. And with exuberant quietude, it is kind of saying, you do have this exuberance here. You do have this like power, this very yang power, this phallic power, or this like fire power, if you like, to go forth with, your dreams or your passions or whatever it is. Yeah, as long as I feel like whatever comes to you through this time of like going within and getting quiet and tuning into like, your wisdom, you'll be able to like like this dragon, like blow the like create a fire with it. Like I think did I say something? Sorry, because I'm channeling, so I don't always completely remember the message, but I feel like I said something about you're gonna your idea is gonna spread like, or your ideas are gonna spread like wildfire. So I'm just gonna see if there's any other messages from the tarot, and then I'll move on to the oracle. Yeah. 10 of Wands. Yeah, I feel like you have been in this energy. This, wow, this is so, I mean, these cards back up this, yin yang, and like, the over exuberance to the point that it's burnt yourself out. Like it is what you have been doing, or the other route on the crossroads that you're at, what you've previously been doing, if you're thinking of just continuing along the path that you're on, it's a burden for you. You can't do it. I mean, you're strong and you've got a lot of energy and you've got a lot of exuberance, and you've got a lot of frenetic energy, a lot of nervous energy available to you. So, you can be this woman trudging up the hill with carrying your 10 wands. You've carried a lot of burdens for a long time, but my sense is like, if you go with this, if you flip that switch and go within and go with the calling of your soul, your seventh chakra, your sovereign self, your higher self, you'll be on this broomstick. And see, look at the difference between the energy of these two cards. This card, the woman is carrying 10 broomsticks up a massive mountain, and it's really, really hard and really heavy, and she looks exhausted. Like, can you see her face? She just looks like, oh my actual God, do I seriously have to keep doing this? And I feel like for you, this is kind of you climbing up the corporate ladder, to be honest, or climbing up a ladder of something you've been doing for quite a while. And you're kind of 10 is the number of completion. It's like the end of a cycle. It's like you kind of know you're really coming to the end of your tether with that. You might have energetically got a bit burnt out. Again, that's not to say jump ship immediately, but maybe get something else lined up. If there's some other passion, if there's some other idea that you've had, which for my power twos, you might not be quite there yet. You might need to I feel like you need to have some time out to go within, to get quiet, to really connect with your inner self. And then, once you've got that idea, it'll just take off. Like, this is you on your broomstick. You'll be elevated, you'll be lifted up, like this Knight of Wands, like it'll just fly. The energy is so different. Like, you don't have to trudge up a hill carrying loads of things. You can just sit on a broomstick and your higher self will just take you there. So I'm going to see I'm quite curious to see what else is coming through for my pile twos on the path that is most authentic, or the path that is most you. So pile two, what is the path that is most you? Oh, wow. Yeah. 4 of Pentacles and Knight of Cups. So again, interesting. We've got this like two opposite energies here. So we've got this kind of I feel like this is you in a bit of a stuck in a bit of a almost like a prison or something, which could be your job or some kind of project or some kind of corporate or something that you're stuck in. And there's a sense of like, well, I've got to stay here because this is where the money is. And this is where I'm going to get my security from. And it's kind of that like quite restrictive energy and quite like closed off, and where you're like you can see the way he's holding down the treasure box. Like, I feel like actually this is spirit kind of saying to you, like, you have a lot of treasure within. You've got a lot of in that quietude, when you quiet down and connect to your inner soul self, there's actually a lot of treasure in there. But this person is like sitting on it, and he's like, no one can look in that, like no, like he's kind of keeping it to himself. He's sort of, it's almost like you're maybe keeping your like spiritual self a bit of a, or your like your true authentic self a bit of a secret, and just staying like locked inside this kind of rather boring room that has nothing in it except like there's a bit of money on the floor, I guess. And so there's that energy. And then on this side, you've got two characters who are flying on brooms. Both are knights. So knights are very fast, again, fast moving energy. One is a Knight of Wands, which is fire, and the other is Knight of Cups, which is water and emotions and emotional fulfillment. So there's this energy that whatever this other path, that's not this path, is something that's going to fire you up. It's going to spread, your idea is going to spread like wildfire. It's very passionate. You're going to love it. And you're going to be emotionally fulfilled. It's going to be something where like you're giving all this love to people. I just see you like flying around giving love to people, but like you're like on a broomstick, like you're being carried. So whatever makes you kind of feel elevated, whatever like elevates you and lifts you up, that's what you need to be doing, because that's going to get you to where you want to get to. Because at the moment you're trudging and it's so heavy and tiring, and you're going to burn out carrying on along that path. But going this new way, this thing that gives you passion, which again you might have to spend some time in quietude figuring out what that is, but it could well be something linked with something, maybe something related to like your spirituality, perhaps. Or with the purple, the sort of indigo-y color here, it could be a third eye thing. So it could be that you're like clairvoyant, but just something that you're passionate about. Passion flower. Put your passions out there, but like go within first, and then it will just carry you. This passion will carry you, and it will give you so much like fire and it will, I'm hearing it's like that, instead of, it's like a pull energy instead of a push energy. This is push energy, which is what you've been previously doing, and this is pull energy, where you get up in the morning and do it because you're pulled to do it. So therefore it's like you're just flying on a broomstick rather than having to carry 10 broomsticks up a friggin' hill. So yeah, sorry, that was quite a strong message. But your guides are like really encouraging you to not worry about like the money, I think, and not worry about like keeping like your true self under wraps. It's like there's something in you that needs to get out, that you need to like shine, be this exuberant soul, but like who you truly are, not kind of for someone else, is what I'm hearing. I'm going to pull a animal oracle card now for you. Goddess Hekate, can I have an animal oracle card for my pile 2? Can I have an animal oracle card for pile 2? I have an animal oracle card for pile 2. Whoa. Okay, that's... I'm not sure which one it is. That's a lot of... Okay, hold on. Sorry. That's 4 cards. I don't... I'm sorry. I don't have time to read 4 cards. With just like 1 card, please. Can I have 1 animal oracle card for my pile 2s? Bat. Yeah. Yeah. So you are... The bat is kind of like, it's a night creature. So it's like you've previously been a day creature. You've been ruled by the sun, ruled by yang, ruled by masculine energy, focused on kind of those lower chakras, like the root chakra, the solar plexus chakra, like, sort of being perhaps, being very practical, being very linear, being very like driven by sort of material needs, maybe, which is, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's good to have that as well, for sure. But that is like it's like fly kind of, if you're driven by the moon, which is the feminine self, and it's that Cancerian energy of like you know, the emotions and what brings you emotional fulfillment, and intuiting. It's like this sort of being driven by your intuition rather than, yeah, the moon is kind of all about, you know, like womb, like cycles, womb time, intuition. I feel like I'm being guided to say it's like that third eye thing, or like with the purple color here that's connected with the third eye chakra and the crown chakra. So there's this like feminine, intuitive, emotionally felt yin energy, which I did very much feel like for some of you, you were operating from this yang energy a little too much. You've become a bit imbalanced, so you need to find that balance and like start relying more on your feminine energy, your moon, like using the cycles of the moon to elevate your life. You know, like the full moon is very powerful for like amplifying intentions. You know, the new moon is a good time to set new intentions. You know, there's all these things that you can do around like around the actual times of the moon, as well as okay, I'm hearing like astrology. So for some of you, it could be really helpful to get like your astrology chart read if you haven't already, but it could well be that you go into something like being an astrologer, like an intuitive astrologer or an intuitive counselor, or something that's kind of about like the moon and moon cycles. So maybe it's working with women around like healing or tapping into like moon cycle wisdom. But it's very like you're going to fly. Look at the similarity between the bat with the red wings and the Knight of Wands with his red cape flying. Like you're just going to fly towards this moon and intuitive energy, this like yin energy. It's like this bat is like, it's like this little mouse that's just been like whoop, like it's suddenly got these wings and it's been like elevated. And what's going to elevate you is tuning into your yin side of you, the moon, the wisdom of the moon, the wisdom of your moon cycle, the wisdom of your feminine self. That's what's going to give you the passion. That's what's going to be emotionally fulfilling. That's what's going to allow you to be exuberant in the world and like put these ideas or whatever out there. Because it's coming from a like you've rooted in this quiet space and like connected with that inner self, which is just a really gorgeous message. So I'm going to leave it there, pile twos. I hope that resonated a little bit. I know that sometimes when you read when you do kind of transition reading, sometimes it can be a little bit like, oh, well, I wanted it to say like, you know, go like yes or no, like go this way, definitely, and you know, like a really, really clear cut answer. But often, you know, I would just say with if you are in a transition to, I'm just sensing this need for part two to really like breathe out and like allow yourself to intuitively come to that answer within. And I know for some of you, if you're more perhaps rational, logical, linear minded, or you've been operating from that masculine, perhaps more yang energy in the past, that is very difficult to do. And believe me, I do understand that, because I used to be the same. I run a feminine-led goddess business now, which if you told me 10 years ago, I would have laughed in your face, because I didn't know about any of that stuff whatsoever. I was a producer in media. I worked with a team of all boys, and like, you know, graphic editors and that kind of thing, very sort of people who did quite technical work. And I, worked in a very like in a masculine dominated environment mostly. And I get it. Like, I get if you're going through that transition and you're feeling this like call of, or this need to kind of like connect with your yin self, your inner self, your intuitive self, your feminine self, that can be quite a difficult transition. But it's not saying like go like just don't have that yang part of yourself or that masculine part of yourself at all. Like it's about like fusing both of them together. Wands is sort of fire and the masculine self, and cups is water and the feminine self. So if you can blend these two knights, you are onto a winner. If you can go within first, connect with the yin energy. So it's almost like it needs to be this way around. If you can connect with your emotional, intuitive self, the moon self, the bat, then you will be able to like go out in the world as your use the yang energy, the energy you already know how to use, that masculine energy, to put something out in the world. And like, my goodness, like it's just gonna take off. Like I'm just seeing you like being like, this literally doesn't feel like work at all. Like this isn't work. This is just play. Like you're just there, just playing. It's almost like, I don't know. I see some of you doing things like astrology or like something like that. Maybe not specifically astrology, but something along those lines. Some kind of the process of I mean, it could even be tarot. It could be anything that's kind of a bit more along the lines of like the intuitive arts, for example, or something related to like moon cycles or things like that. If it's not specifically going down that path, then your guidance is to do that stuff in order to get your next step. In order to know, like, you need to do that balancing out, like connect with your inner feminine self, connect with the moon, start doing like moon rituals, connect with like your emotional side of you, take time out to rest and have that yin time and that quiet time. And within that quietude, you will find what it is that lights you up and makes you happy. And you'll know what pulls you forward. You'll know what like you then want to put these burdens down and like kind of go towards what you really, really like, something that's far more heart-led and passionate for you. And you'll just be flying. I just see you absolutely flying. Like, you're just absolutely in the air. You're elevated, you're uplifted, you're elevated and uplifting others and bringing joy and emotional fulfillment and love to others. And it's just absolutely exquisite, whatever you do. So thank you so much for joining me, my loves, my beautiful pal twos, my lovely little exuberant souls. You're just so fantastic and so passionate, and it's been a joy, an absolute joy reading your energy. So thank you for tuning in. Please leave a comment below if you resonated with this pile. Please like and subscribe, because that helps the video get out to other people who might also resonate with these messages from the goddesses. I do upload regular goddess readings once a week, as well as other readings on other topics. So please hit the notification bell if you'd like to be notified of when those come out. And otherwise, thank you so much. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye. Hi there, pile 3. If you chose the third pile and this cute little pinecone here, this is your reading. So the Herbury card, illustrated Herbury card that you got was Remembrance and Rosemary. So I'm going to just read the guidance from the book, or the message from the book first of all, and then I'm going to bring through the channel messages from Hekate. So Rosemary is the smell of deja vu and the afterbreath of nostalgia. Her gift is the faint scent that teases and vanishes, leaving you longing for something you can't quite name, with memories that crest and crash, pulling you gasping into their undertow. In Victorian times, rosemary was said to say, "Remember me." This is but a small part of her magic. Rosemary can ease remembrance, softening sharp edges, or she can dredge the distant past, pulling on your DNA to bring forth the longings of lineage. Crush the leaves, hold them to your nose. The past is encoded into our cellular memory. Rosemary whispers, sink into the knowledge that lives in your bones. Let memory rise up from the body of your being. Wow, really beautiful, powerful message. So, what I'm getting through, I'm just going to bring through some messages related to this card first, and then I'm going to move on to some tarot messages from the Everyday Witch Tarot, and also some oracle cards from the Kim Kranz Animal Oracle deck too. So we have this remembrance card here, and what I got through was that there's almost like a destined path for you that it's almost like it's not something you have to figure out how to do or learn. It's something that is already like encoded into your DNA, and it's just something for you to remember. Now, this could be different things. This could be, what I'm getting through for some of you is that you were some form of a witch in a past life, maybe. But I think for many of you, if you're drawn to this reading, especially this pile, you could quite possibly be an old soul. And you've had many incarnations, and you were on Earth at some point in the form of some kind of witch. And by witch, I mean, and I hope you understand the powerful original meaning of the word witch was, I'm being drawn to show you this book, A History of Women in Medicine, cunning woman, physicians, witches. So witches were originally what was known as cunning women, which were the women who back in the day, like hundreds and hundreds of years ago, before the witch hunts, which I think was around like the 14th, 15th century, but I can't quite remember the exact date. But anyway, it was around these women were actually held a lot of power in the community, and they were healers. So they were kind of things that nowadays would be considered things like homeopaths and some kind of, like holistic healers and energy healers and medicine women and, herbalists and, women who created herbal remedies and things like that. They really knew about the plants, the local plants, the like hedgerow plants and plant medicine. They knew how to, instinctively and intuitively heal people, and they had a lot of power. But of course that, eventually, I'm not going to go into the whole witch hunt thing, but if you're drawn to this reading, you probably already know about that, or it might be relevant for you to do a little bit of research into that, because that might help like trigger some remembrance of like who you really are, like at the core of your soul. And there's a very much so a kind of, and I'm sure if you're drawn to a Goddess Hekate reading, you're probably quite drawn to this kind of thing like witchcraft or healing or herbal remedies or that type of thing anyway, because she was the queen or the goddess of witches. So there is this strong message of like, remember who you once were, because you don't need to relearn all that again. You don't need to go and do courses necessarily. Like all you need to do is tap into that ancient memory, that cellular memory. It's still in your cells. It's still like runs through, like it's like in your body, like your soul has incarnated into this body, and your body already has that remembrance. So I'm being guided to suggest that getting rosemary essential oil could be really relevant for you. Just burning it at night in like a little oil burner like this, that could help you actually connect with that like soul memory, almost like your cellular memory, like the remembrance of like what you need to know in order to perform this kind of like whether it's healing remedies or like magical blends, being some kind of like witch in terms of maybe not so much like holistic healer, but maybe like witch in terms of like magic. And just, magic is just, understanding that you are the center of your world and you can manifest what you decide to. And like, things like spells are just like are basically more or less equivalent to, say, what in the modern day we call like, manifestation affirmations and things like that. So like chanting affirmations is kind of the same as like chanting incantations or spells to make something happen that you want to happen, like intentionally setting intentions to, manifest something. So whatever it is, there's like a remembrance, there's like this, I'm seeing this like red thread back to like your original self. And it's like I'm just being drawn to this little bow around the finger. It's like your career or your purpose or this path that is most you already comes with you, all tied up in a bow, is what I'm being shown. It's like everything is already there. Like it's like a little present from the past for you, like this little present wrapped up in like this little red bow of like, here you go. And like red is the color of the root chakra, which is the color of like or the root chakra is all about like your tribe, your home, your ancestor, your ancestral memories, your ancestral inheritance, your familial inheritance. So maybe some of you are like second generation witches. Now this could be that unfortunately the earlier generations, like say your mother's generation for example, don't remember that that's what they are, but they were that as well. It somehow runs through your lineage, but of course they've been conditioned and programmed, like we all have in patriarchal society, to deny that and suppress that part of ourselves and deny that we have any power as women or as cunning women or whatever. And so it's the memory has been kind of lost. So you're the first generation, you're the first person in your lineage to wake up and remember this like inheritance, and that you have this power within you, and it runs through generations and through through your lineage, through your family, through your ancestors, and you can call on like their memory. And now is a really perfect time to do that. If you're listening to this message now, it's Samhain. We're the 1st of November, so we're just coming out of the like Samhain portal, or Samhain, sorry, I think it's pronounced, and in the northern hemisphere, which is a time of like being able to connect with ancestors. So it could be a really good ritual just to like light a candle and ask your ancestral memories or your familial legend, I'm hearing, to come through, like to connect with that, like the legend of your ancestors. Like maybe like, I don't know, like your great grandmother or something was like a cunning woman or a witch or something, and was able to like perform that in her way, in her time, and then it might have got shut down or something through the witch hunts, and then but like it's still within you, it's still within your DNA, within your blood, within, the red thread being like blood or like DNA. It still runs through you, and you just need to remember. And it's like you've got that within you. Now for some of you, that might be a very welcome message, and you might be like, fantastic, like I really want to be a witch, and Goddess Hekate is here, and she's like the queen of the witches, and it's really appropriate, and it's like, woohoo, you can work with her, and that's fantastic. And like start along that path and like see where it guides you, and you might be really excited about that, and it might be something that you've already been pulled to. Maybe you've been reading a lot of these kind of books anyway, or you're just drawn to like making your own holistic products, even just for yourself, or getting into kind of various aspects of manifestation and magic, or essential oils, or like nature, being out in nature can, like, I'm seeing some of you doing some sort of like foraging and hedge witchery and, plant medicine and all that kind of stuff. I'm seeing this like with the plants, the wreath around here. It's like you could well be, which I think is rose. Yeah, I think that's rosemary actually. The plant rosemary all around the outside. So you could be working with herbs anyway. You could be really connected with the herb rosemary, or really love the smell of it, or just whatever it might be. And then there might be others of you who are like, oh no, like that's really scary, or like I don't really connect with the word witch, or I don't really know, like I don't necessarily want to go down that path, and that could be hence why you're at this bit of a crossroads at the moment, and you're like a bit nervous about going forward. But like just know that you can like witchcraft has had a lot of negative because of everything that happened with all the patriarchal programming and the witch hunts and everything, and you know, especially if some of you were brought up in the church or anything like that, you could have definitely received that negative programming really, really strongly. And so there could be this resistance towards this path. And it's like, Goddess Hekate is just saying, like, that's fine. Like, you know, it'll always be there for you. And you don't have to, like, practice it in this really big, like, full on, you know, overt way and make that your whole career and everything like that. It's just that this sort of, magic is within you, like this ability to heal people and to do this kind of work and to potentially like make healing remedies or connect with the connect with the healing power of nature and help people with that. And I'm also seeing there's these two like crows in the outside as well. So it could well be that some of you are like actually more like psychic, on the psychic side of like the whole witch thing. Like, so maybe you're not so much like holistic healers, but you're definitely like rosemary has kind of purpley flowers. So it's like, that's like connected with the third eye. I'm hearing like past life recall, so maybe that's something you might be interested to look into, or maybe you end up working with helping people with that, or even like I'm seeing some of you writing, like channeling writing, like sort of you might bring out your past lives through writing, and like you're a storyteller and you love writing and connecting with your muse. And expressing yourself in that way, and it's about like you just remember all these incredible stories, and that's kind of from your time of like, if you can connect with that part of yourself, like, you know, you can sort of express that innate sense of like your that I guess that witch side of you, for want of a better word. You don't have to like overtly identify with being a witch or being Wiccan or any of that kind of stuff, or practicing witchcraft, but you could just like intuitively, instinctively remember these sort of incredible stories, or write about kind of the days of the witch hunts or times when women were witches, or, you know, that kind of thing. So there could be something around that, I feel like, for this pile. I'm just going to move on to I'm going to pull some messages from the Everyday Witch Tarot. Pile 3 is Goddess Hekate. Can I have some messages from the Everyday Witch? Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. So there's this sense of like you are you're wanting to take off towards something new, but like your foot's still on the ground. And so it might well be for this pile that you are already sort of facing towards like you are at a crossroads, but you're kind of actually already facing towards the path you know you want to go down. This like remembrance path towards your remembering who you really are, and who you're, that kind of witch side of yourself, if you like. But you're very slowly and gradually, like Pentacles is it's earth energy. It's very slow. It's very practical, methodical. Like if you think of the earth signs like Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, they're very like, you know, detailed and methodical, and you know, make a plan, and like, you know, that sort of mountain goat energy. And with the Knight of Pentacles, it's like, Knights are action oriented and forward moving. However, the Knight of Pentacles is like the slowest knight of the deck. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's really beautiful, and take your time, and for sure, like, take it methodically and slowly and gently, and go towards, you know, whatever is going to bring you stability and security. But I'm sensing like the message I'm kind of getting through is like, you can take your foot off the ground, and like it's like you're like a kind of like a new witch, and you're like, does this thing fly? Like, are you sure? Because I'm used to kind of walking, and like like I don't really know, like, if this is gonna bring, like, if I jump on this broomstick and it, like, can I really fly it, and is it gonna lead me towards something stable? Like Pentacles is all to do with like, you know, stability, security, money, the house, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so you might be kind of the guidance is like, you could do it. Like, you can take your foot off the ground and like let the broom, like brooms are magic, like they will fly you. So it's like this remembrance, this like you tapping into remembering who you really are and your innate witch self, that when you get on your broomstick eventually, metaphorically speaking, I don't advise to literally stand on a rooftop and get on an actual broom, just putting that there. But metaphorically speaking, when you get on your broomstick, when you decide to let your like spirit self, your higher self, your intuitive self guide you, and you just let go of your attachment to the ground and the earth, like your broomstick would just be like whoomp, like, and it will just take you where you need to go. I'm just going to see if there's any other guidance from Everyday Witch. Everyday Witch, is there any more guidance for my... Oops, one flipped. Sorry, I didn't see that. Oh my goodness. How gorgeous. Yeah, Queen of Wands. Beautiful energy. So yeah, this could well be like Wands is all to do with like fire, and you've got this orange dragon behind her here, which is the sacral chakra, which is all to do with like passion and creativity and sexuality and sensuality and like that creative spark, that passionate spark, that zest for life. You know, it's all of that. And Queen of Wands is like, she is just in that power. She reigns supreme. She's very fertile, very creatively fertile, very in her sort of like got that real like Kundalini power, that kind of serpentine sexual magnetism and sexual power that like fires her up, and like she's just going after her passions. And able to manifest what it is that she wants to. She's got her wand here in one hand. So she's just very magical, very passionate, very driven. And her creative passions like carry her almost like this dragon. You can see she's sort of sitting on, is that like the tail of the dragon? I can't really tell. I think she's like sitting, yeah, she's sitting like on the back of the dragon, like the dragon's facing that way with his wings. And so this sacral chakra dragon, this orange dragon, is like carrying her. So that could be another message for those of you who are writers, or like wanting to write about that kind of stuff, or like write about like women in power, or something, or even anything. I mean, it doesn't have to be like strictly related to witches or witchcraft or the witch hunts or anything like that. It could just be like remembrance in terms of, you know, you're connecting with that. And again, it's interesting. You've got this red thread here, red dress here, and red jumper he's got over his, like under his cloak here. So connecting with like remembering like your going back to like your roots and your ancestral connection in some way. My gut feeling, the intuition or the guidance I was getting was that for many of you, that is like you have that witch archetype within you. You have that power. And Queen of Wands was very much that was like, you know, like I was talking about, the cunning woman, the witches, the women with power. They had a lot of sway in their communities. They were powerful, like this Queen of Wands. They radiated a lot of power. Queen of Wands can speak of like someone who has a lot of like healing power within them. But it couldn't, like I said, it could also be, this could be for others of you. So take what resonates, leave the rest. For others of you with the sacral chakra, it's more to do with like creative expression and remembering your creative self and your own passions. I'm sensing some of you may need to do a little bit of like, almost like connecting with your inner child and like healing. Like it might be that you need to do a little bit of shadow work or healing your inner child to remember what your passions are. But I feel like for most of you, you actually know. And that's why you got this Knight of Pentacles, where it's like you kind of already are on, it's like you've put one leg over the broom of like whatever it is that you know is your passion and what you want to do. But you haven't taken the other foot off the ground yet, and so it can't quite, like it's not going to take off really, until you do. Just see if there's any other messages. Any other messages for my pile threes? Wow, Seven of Pentacles, yeah. So that's because you've got to give it time. So whatever it is, this this new project, or like whether it's a writing project, whether it's like a tapping into your kind of witchy powers, or nature, like learning, like I think I mentioned before about like, you know, learning how plants work, or you know, harvesting herbs to make concoctions or something like that. With the Seven of Pentacles, it's kind of about like, you know, doing the work and watering the seeds and tending to the crops, but just also like allowing nature to kind of like, you know, grow the plant sort of thing. It's like this witch is sort of checking the grapes to see like, are you ready to pick yet? And it's like, it's not quite ready to harvest necessarily. Like Seven of Pentacles is like, it's all about patience and determination, and like what, like having that consistency and work to like just keep seeing something through. And I think you've got, I mean, you've got two Pentacles cards here, so you've got a lot of earth energy. You could well be an earth sign yourself, you know, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, but you've if you are worrying about like security or stability or money, you don't need to, is the guidance I'm getting. You've got this Queen card here, which is like, that's the ability to master whatever it is that you want to do. And you it's like, again, it kind of goes back to this whole thing of what I was saying with the bow, and how like your purpose or your career or this next path for you is already wrapped up in a bow within you. Like it's already there, it's already planted, the seed is already within you. It just needs a little bit of time, a little bit of water, a little bit of a good environment in order to like blossom into this like queen, you know, like fully sovereign and in your power, and like, you know, yeah, just like really powerful and reigning supreme in that area. It's like, it just needs a little bit of time and work, but it's like, it's already been, like these trees, these plants, they've already been planted before you even incarnated, I feel like, on this earth. It's like your purpose, what is the path that is the most you, came like, it was within you, and it's been growing all this time, this whole time that you've been like growing up. And I don't know, many of you, how old you are, like you could be in your 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever, 50s, 60s, whatever it is. Like it's never too late. Like the path has been within you, and it's been growing, and you've been watering it without necessarily realizing you have, just by being on the earth. And all you have to do is like remember who you are. Like it's already there. The plant is already there. It's already growing. There's just a little bit more clicking into like that, aligning with like the power of your authentic self. And then like you'll have this like beautiful harvest and abundance. And it'll just be so passionate. And yeah. Okay, I'm going to get some messages from the... Actually, sorry, before I do that, I'm going to just see. I feel like Goddess Hekate might have a little bit more to say with the tarot. I think there might be one more message from the cards. There, what was that? Interesting. So the previous pile got the same card. 10 of Wands. Yeah, there's... So... You've got two Pentacles cards, Knight of Pentacles and Seven of Pentacles. And then you've got two Wands cards, Queen of Wands and, and 10 of Wands. And I feel like one path for you, if you are at a crossroads, one path for you is would involve this uphill struggle. And there's been it's been a lot of, your past might have carried like a lot of burdens for you. I mean, you can do it and you can get to the top, but like it's very tiring and very exhausting. Versus you can step on this dragon of passion, like sit, it's like sit on your passions, like sit on your, be seated and have that sovereignty within your like sacral chakra. Like, so whatever your, like your passions are, or whatever fires you up or lights you up, whatever you love learning about. Maybe you think it's like really like this stuff that you're starting to get into and remember, if you are already starting on that journey. And I feel like you probably are, you probably already know what this is. Like I say, it's kind of within you and you're starting to maybe remember it. And if you're really like, if there's things that you're learning about, like I say, maybe being a hedge witch or learning about herbal remedies or essential oils or astrology or tarot or becoming like creating your own apothecary or whatever it is that brings you passion and lights you up, like don't ignore it. Like it's there for a reason. It's been brewing within you for a reason. It's been planted for a reason. And it's like you've got to allow this dragon, this sacral chakra dragon, this creative dragon to like take you up in the air and fly with you, and then you won't have to walk like this poor woman carrying all these wands or these brooms, sorry, trudging uphill. It's like you don't have to carry. It's kind of a similar message or energy in a way to this knight being on this broom, but with only one leg over and not taking the other leg off yet and kind of still being on the ground. It's like you're very grounded, pile 3. And it's like you don't kind of, it's almost like by going really in depth into this remembrance, you're a bit scared to do that because that feels too flighty or like off the grid almost, I'm hearing, like off grid or off the earth. Like it's like you feel like you need to be grounded and be sensible, be practical and have a practical plan and like walk to, like, it's like, no, I can't just jump on a dragon and fly off there. I can't just like jump on a broomstick and fly there. I've got to walk. Like there's no magic. There's just walking. You know, there's no other way to get there. There's no like spirit aren't gonna just like magic me to where I want to go. Like I've got to carry this. I've got to struggle to get there. I've got to carry my broomsticks up this big hill. And it's like if you put these other broomsticks down and jump on one, it will take you where you want to go. You don't have to carry all of them up this mountain. And this could be like, I'm hearing like expectations of others or different jobs or something. It's like you don't have to struggle anymore. You can trust in the magic. You can remember who you really are. Remember you are magical, and that this passion that's within you can carry you to where you want to go. It's already planted. It's already growing. It's already there. Yeah, I'm just going to see if there's any animal oracle cards for you. Any animal oracle cards for my pile 3s. Wow, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah, so snake. Which is incredible because snake is one of the key animals for Goddess Hekate. So this is like her... this is like her personal like message to you of like... just you're being regenerated, like let the old die, let this old path die. And I feel like you are already facing the new path. It's like you're looking at this tree, this thing that's planted within you, and you're like, is this ready? Can I really do this? Can I really put this stuff out there or be this person, whether it's a writer? See, there's a book here on this table, so this could well be being a writer, tapping into your like inner muse, or it could be some kind of, like I said, like a healing thing, or being something to do with plants or nature or herbs or something like that. And it's like, you can be powerful in whatever that is. But you need to let snakes are all about like regenerating and letting the old, you know, like they shed their skin and then there's like a new version of themselves that comes out from underneath the skin. And this gorgeous like matrix with, there's a lot of blue and a lot of purple and white. So blue is the throat chakra, which is the chakra of expression. Purple is the third eye chakra, which is the chakra of like intuition and like feminine wisdom. And then white is the crown chakra, which is spirituality, connecting with your like the goddess within. And the snake is like wrapped around this beautiful like floral matrix here, and it's just shining all this light out from it. So it's like this old self, this sort of burdened self needs to die. This practical, like, oh, I've got to do it this way, I've got to do it the hard way, I've got to really struggle, I've got to put one foot in front of the other up the mountain. That needs to be shed. And that's the transition that you're going through at the moment. You've got to shed that. Let Goddess Hekate help you with shedding that old skin and tapping into like this underneath, this more powerful like snake. So I mean, and again, I mentioned snakes before with the Kundalini energy. With the Queen of Wands is all about tapping into that Kundalini energy, rising Kundalini energy. That's like when your chakras are balanced, your 7 main chakras are balanced, from your root chakra to your crown chakra. The Kundalini energy, your chi or your like fire energy, travels up through your body, and you can then access like divine wisdom and then bring it down and manifest it down onto the earth. So you have a like strong liberating current and then a strong manifesting current. If you've got blocks in any of your chakras, that's where it can become difficult with the 10 of Wands to manifest things and to put your to make your passions manifest. Whoops, sorry. I just completely jiggled the camera then. Yeah, so, but that snake energy is very like Wands energy. It's that like Kundalini fire, regeneration, like rebirthing yourself as this like more powerful version of yourself. There's a need to shed this old earthbound, and I don't say earthbound in a bad way. I don't mean like, because like Gaia, Mother Earth, is very magical and very powerful, and obviously if you are potentially on this witch path or this remembering your connection with your inner witch self, you know, the medicine and the abundance on the earth is incredible. But what I mean by shedding your sort of earth self is shedding like that version of yourself that is very focused on like, say, material things or like linear progression, or like being almost like you're not, you don't have help from the spirit realm or like your higher self. It's like, oh, I've got to do it this hard way and I've got to just put one foot in front of the other, and it's just me and I'm here on my own, and you know, it's this woman on her own with a cat on her back and trudging uphill with all these brooms. And it's like, no, you can get on your dragon, on your, you can rely on your passions, and they're going to take you where you want to go. But the transition you're going through at the moment is to shed this old skin. So my feeling is that is the end of the reading for you. So I hope that resonated. Sorry, the camera's been a little bit wobbly towards the end. Yeah, I hope that resonated for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Please comment below if this resonated for you. I would love to hear from you. Please like and subscribe, because it helps other people to access the content. It helps with the algorithm. Hit the notification bell if you'd like to be notified of any further videos. I will be posting regular weekly goddess videos, goddess messages, as well as also just general messages related to love, relationships, career, purpose, so forth. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you soon. All my love. Bye bye.